Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. We're back for another podcast. I am Adam McCullough. Today I am joined by Casey from Stretford Paddock and Jay from Full Time Devils, I'm guessing right now.
Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it?
We're here. I feel like everyone's smiling, which I didn't expect this week.
It's weird,
Coming into the last 2 weeks of the transfer window with not a lot of business done, but now some recent reports have got us all a bit giddy now. Careful, we could get too carried away. We'll speak about everything involving that a little bit later, but straight into it, Christensen, we beat him 1-0, one matter. You called it a dive, didn't you?
I'm not. That's not a penalty. Come on, Macca.
A dive, man.
Mate, you just
Juan
love
Mata's
Juan Mata.
not the type of person to dive, is he?
Listen, Casey, back me up.
I left the room when a supposed challenge happened. Came back in.
Sorry, Stretford Paddock's Casey.
Yeah.
Just.
Obviously, it's an audio podcast.
Oh, it's an audio podcast.
So they're not going to see your bright red.
Bright red Stretford Paddock hoodie available from.
He's like the Tony Pulis. He's like the Tony Pulis of Stretford Paddock here. Head to toe in Stretford Paddock here.
No, I mean, when I first saw the challenge, I thought if it's obviously not VAR, it was. This going to get given because it looked like the goalkeeper had gone straight in. I am not going to comment on whether it was a dive or not. I'm just glad that we actually converted and scored a goal that game because, not going to lie, it was a very boring game.
Does anyone think Pogba's off pens now, or do you think he'll just go on, take it?
I don't think he's off pens. I think that was just him and his mate. Doesn't matter. Him and Matt get on, don't they?
Doesn't matter.
He said like they're good friends. I don't know. I think Pogba would be mad to come off penalties. With VAR coming in, the amount he scored last season as well.
It's that run-up. It gives me angina. It does.
Yeah.
Go and make a brew while that run-up goes on and just come back.
He's sort of calmed it down a little bit now, and he's stopped doing it as much. There's a little bit of it, but not.
I think he still takes him because I don't think Mata. If obviously we're going to go into it with the transfer talk, but I don't think if they come in, Mata's going to be playing this lot. So it's basically you got Pogba.
Martial fancies him. And if he's going to play number 9, that's probably an opportunity for him to boost his goal tally.
What do you think about Marcus taking him?
Well, we've 1-for-1 in Paris.
That's what I mean. And like, you think if he'd have took penalties last season, if he had even if he'd have
He'd have had his first 20-goal season.
That's what I mean. It's like,
I feel like
if I was him, I'd be a bit like.
But then you got to say he's got to score them.
Yeah.
He could have missed a few.
Yeah.
Gone into Paris without having scored a penalty and missed 3.
Yeah, I feel like next season it's going to be a thing that you just need one consistent penalty taker because, as I think we were discussing before, and like Crystal Palace have got Milivojevic who converts all the penalties. You've probably got Liverpool who just stick Milner on occasionally, just like, yeah, you score that one. But like, you need someone who's consistently taken because if VAR is like in the World Cup, there's going to be so many penalties taken.
Yeah, they reckon it might tail off a little bit, like in terms of there might be an initial spate of penalties in the first few games, and it tends to calm down a little bit.
Because then players will be wary of doing certain things that get them penalties against them, innit? But I don't know. I think VAR is a weird one because they only look at decisions in certain, and I can see that becoming a real talking point, like things happening and them not opting to take a look at it, and because you see that already, and I think that's going to become the next talking. There's always a talking point in football. You're never going to get rid of the talking points. And that'll be the next one, why they're looking at them decisions and not them decisions.
Yeah, definitely.
And things like that.
Well, I think VAR was made to take the uncertainty out of football, and it's meant to be clear. They say it's for clear errors. But the fact is if it's an error where someone has an opinion, because it's all that say, if the ref thinks that the one on the pitch has got it wrong, and you get those 50-50 ones, where it's like, oh, I think it is a foul, but I'm not sure if he got the ball, it still becomes a decision, and then you have another 5 minutes while the referee on the pitch says, oh, I want to have another look at this. Goes over to the side of it, and then he's not really sure. But then I feel like the ref might take the stance of, if I say, oh, VAR said give the penalty, and it turns out it wasn't one, then it's not my fault. I was overruled by the technology. So
I don't believe in VAR anyway.
Do you know?
I believe football should be the same at Sunday league level as it is at the top level. Now I know you have goal line technology and things like that, but that's like definite.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't implemented that sort of like laser line technology on like the offsides. You could quite easily have something. It's a bit.
The thing I hate with VAR is with the offside thing is, Do you remember when Mata was like, his toe was offside?
Do you remember that line?
Yeah. But
little
regardless
line.
of the line, his toe was offside.
I mean,
Now, offside used to be, you could have, if there was daylight, you were
Daylight. I was going to
offside.
say when I was a
And
kid, it was daylight.
Yeah.
What you're going to ask is, why was offside brought into the game? To stop people goal hanging.
Yeah.
So, really, you should only apply the law when there's clear, and they're doing offsides over little toes. And I don't think the rules were brought in to stop that.
There's no advantage really, is there? Like from things like that, is that really giving?
And the
attacker
naked eye,
advantage?
it's onside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like when it was daylight, obviously if there was daylight between you and the defender, you have a clear advantage. You've got a yard on him.
I mean, that's.
But if your toe or your heel, it can be anything, can't it?
Because that's what it is now, goal scoring part of your body or something.
Yeah, it's like
It's penalising the attacker for being on the ball, sort of thing. Like if the attacker turns and then the defender then like maybe puts a foot wrong and it ends up being like a toe, but it's the attacker who's got the advantage. It used to be like if you weren't sure, you give the attacker the advantage because it was like he'd had the nous to turn and go on. But the fact is now it's like, yep, he turned too quickly, his foot's slightly offside because of his pivot, he's offside, we're not giving it.
It's annoying.
It's a bit of a weird margin to have, but I feel like it's one of those things you've got to be 100% sure that it's going to improve the game and get every decision right so no one can complain anymore. Or is there still going to be complaints because people are like, why is that what that is? Like,
And we haven't got screens at Old Trafford, so we're going to be clueless most of the time.
how have we not got screens at Old Trafford?
No, I think it's good though.
I know what you mean.
It's good.
It's
You could maybe have them hanging from the top for the people at the back, but I don't see a problem with that. I think it's fine.
my mate gets a signal next to me.
I'll get a signal at the back.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah. I got a signal last season. So
Yeah. He
Why have they
watches
put
my-
a disabled end at the back of the Stretford end?
It's just dramas, man. It's just always dramas, Old Trafford, with everything.
Well, how did this turn into the VAR debate?
we were talking about Matta's penalty in the Christensen match. If you bring
So
it back.
pre-season, before we get giddy and talk about all the things that's going to happen in the next couple of days, 10 days. Pre-season, 10 goals scored, 1 conceded, 4 clean sheets in 5 games, 5 wins. Yesterday was the first goal scored by a non-academy player, or scored or not assisted by a non-academy player. Paul Pogba's pass for Matta. Ooh!
Good pass, yeah.
How are we feeling? Based just on what we've got at the moment and pre-season.
As pre-seasons go, in terms of performances and the effort players are putting in and Ollie implementing his style, I think you've got to be happy. I mean, I know people look at it and go 1-0 win in the 92nd minute against a mid-table Norwegian side who had children and injured players playing for them and 3 goalkeepers.
Why didn't Rojo smash one of them?
When Rojo was coming on for when Solskjaer was
so sad about that.
It's destiny that Rojo is going to 2 foot.
Is that not bad parenting though by Ollie to allow that to happen? I know he wasn't the manager, but would you not say no, you're not bringing my son on?
Trial by fire, innit? Trial by fire.
No, we should have let Rojo give him a welcome to football.
No favouritism, just studs in.
Yeah, it was a good. It wasn't a. I enjoyed the game because of the way we're playing, attacking.
Yeah.
And not just attacking in numbers. People are getting forward. People are quick. People are moving. We should have taken our chances yesterday. McTominay, 3 great shots. 1 hits the post. He's proving me wrong. Paul Pogba, when he came on, went close a few times. First half, Rashford, Martial had their chances. There was a lot of opportunities for us to score goals. We didn't. And that's why I enjoyed it, because we were trying to.
Do you think there's almost like yesterday was the first game pre-season that almost had to feel like a charity game to it at times?
Well, it was kind of.
Do you know what I mean? I know, because it's like his homecoming, like people were laughing, like the players were laughing after they'd missed and all the rest of it.
It's middle of the very prestigious competition of the International Champions Cup. So
Of the world.
Mate,
Of the world, yeah.
Did we win it?
I think if we beat AC Milan, we're in the chance of it, I think.
There you go. The quintuple is on.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, never
Just
mind.
behind, just ahead of the Charity Shield is the ICC.
Yeah. Just shades it.
And
About
Mourinho
level with the
counted
World
that.
Club Championship.
So the World Club Championship, I count that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I count that.
I count that above the European Cup.
You
I
should
count
do.
that 'cause Chelsea
you should
fans
do.
said-
It's bigger. It's the world, right? Which is bigger than Europe.
Do you remember when
So-
Ryan Giggs was man of the match and was it in that? And he got a big key given to him and some Honda.
Yeah. I mean, it was the fact is that Chelsea fans
That
said,
was 2000.
it doesn't, yeah, it
What was
doesn't
the one?
matter. And then Chelsea fans went in it and they went, oh, it does matter. And then they got beaten by Corinthians in the final, so I thought that was great.
What was the one where
2000.
Scholes he scored the handball and got butts?
Was that when Beckham got sent off against Necaxa for losing his head? Why do I remember Necaxa? Who had a Necaxa? Do you remember when Beckham lost his head?
Yeah.
Got sent off was it in Brazil, that championship?
Wasn't that the one where we didn't go in the FA Cup to go?
And everyone said it was our fault, even though the
the
FA
FA
forced us not to because we were trying to
we
get
did
the
it
World
for
Cup.
England. And
Isn't
what
that a
thanks to
song?
you. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to start singing along in this podcast.
John Barnes and all that. Yeah, do one. New Order. What you doing? Letting John Barnes on your song.
We'll probably lose. Do you get ad revenue on iTunes now? John Barnes will claim it for that.
Oh, big time, mate.
Be his
It'll
first few
straight
quid he's
on-
earned this
straight
year.
on that, yes.
for the 2 second mumbling of it. You didn't hear
them
it.
Lucas Aid deals are dried up.
Didn't hear anything.
Yeah, pre-season. The
You've had a
results
good
be good.
pre-season, haven't you?
I have, yeah. First of all, thank you to everyone we met in Singapore and Australia. Mate. It was amazing, you know. I'm sure you've heard from Steve
Yeah.
and Joe, a.k.a. Jesus.
Yeah.
But
Rubbing it
I
in
got
so
turned
much.
into a meme in Nigeria. There's a picture of me and Joe where it looks like Jesus is advising me on something.
That's like the claim to fame you get on those quiz shows. It's like, what's your like your big thing? It's like, well, I'm a meme in Nigeria. Just like,
Funny that,
I mean,
mate.
Oh, man. What else happened? Went to see Quackers on Rottnest Island. That was good fun. Chasing around some weird little...
Oh,
I
yeah, I
think
saw
it's
the
like
picture of that, yeah.
kangaroos and koalas
I didn't
fucked
even-
at some
I
point.
never even heard of him until I saw your picture.
Yeah, I had always seen celebrities taking pictures with them and thinking, oh, that's great. But I didn't realise it was in Perth until I got there. And Steve was like, oh, we're going to go see this. And I was like, hell yes. Thank God for that. What a surprise.
it was annoying because I went there when I was a bit younger, and they were like, "Oh, we don't want you to mess around with the wildlife." And then like last couple of years, you just seen people just having selfies
That's
with them. I'm
the
like,
whole tourist. They must make so much money on that island
Yeah.
of people just going to get a selfie with them things. That's incredible. Talking about selfies, like we bumped into so many subscribers. You know, it's actually incredible how many subscribers there are. I know you look at it and you say 500,000, but in this social media era, you kind of forget what numbers mean.
Yeah, no, it's a good
Like
point.
500,000 is a fucking lot of people. Do you know what I mean? And over Facebook, Instagram, there's like 2 million people
Yeah.
on Full-Time Devils. And you go out there and you're meeting all these people and it's absolutely nuts. People from India, Malaysia, Cambodia, met some people from Africa, like Singapore, China. They're just nuts.
Got to admire that, man.
So many
You know what I
people
mean?
bought me a beer as well, so thank you. I was wrecked.
I was watching the video when your voice was going. I thought,
My voice went first night in Perth. I
these
come off a
videos are going to
20-hour
be good when
flight.
you can't even talk.
I come off a 20-hour flight. It's about 9 o'clock. I go, Steve, I need food. Yeah, I just need to eat right now. I just need to eat, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Got to Steve. He goes, yeah, there's a little bit of food here in this bar, and it was a United supporters gathering. So got in there. There's loads of Reds. People giving me beers. Next thing I know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
daylight shining through.
Hey, it's never a good idea when you land and
could
you
be
ring
worse,
Steve
though.
Howson. No, come on, what you expect?
I know.
What do you think he's going to do?
Jesus
Take you for tea and crumpets? Come on.
Worst person to be with, but nah, it was a great trip. Thanks to everyone we met, man, and to people that did Fancam. Fancams went off.
Mate,
It was
I've seen
like
the crowds.
back in the day.
I know.
When we was in
Like,
our
where's
pub.
Andy Tate?
There's so many people like that as well. Like yeah, you're right. Where's Andy? Like, fucking hell. Give me a day off. He'd be happy to see me for a second.
I know, yeah. At least pretend.
Yeah.
Where's Andy? I guess you'll do. Go on.
Yeah. Go on then. What do you want to know?
Yeah, it was mint. But pre-season for United's been mint as well, I think.
Yeah.
I feel
Starting to see what Ollie wants.
Yeah, I feel like the pressing's been quite clear. Like the idea that he wants pressing. And I think, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes in the season, but it kind of, how they've kept it up throughout the entire preseason, it's kind of dispelled that myth that Mourinho had that, I didn't want to train him too hard because I didn't want him to be tired as it started. I mean, I think it said like early on, he was like, he reduced all his trainings up by about 40% on what Mourinho did. But I mean, like, we'll see as the season obviously starts and everything. But I've quite liked how we've seemed to, as soon as we lose the ball, which has been less than, we've not been as wasteful with passes, but when we're actually lose it, we're on them straight away and we're trying to get it back.
We're winning the ball back
Yeah.
in the opposition's half a lot. Interceptions. And Jesse was quite poor, I thought, against Christensen in the first half. But he's so important to the way we press.
Yeah.
And it's important that the rest of them get on board with that. Rashford's on it. Martial's seemingly on it in terms of his energy and his movement. Because if he gets his movement right and his runs right, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best. I know I'm a bit biased, but he's the best.
Thing is, as well, with them players, you can see that you'd expect them to probably enjoy that more. Do you know, like, than sitting back and defending. I mean, there was a bit of a fallout one day. You remember we went to Anfield and got that 0-0? It was sort of like...
that killed our season that season, didn't it? We did so well, and then we drew against Liverpool, and it just...
Yeah.
It wasn't even a bad result.
No.
You'd take a draw against Liverpool.
Yeah. It was weird because they were having a terrible run, and in many ways that sort of was a decent point for them because it ended there, and then they sort of built on it. But apparently a lot of players were annoyed the fact that we'd gone there when we were having a good run, they were struggling, and not gone at him. Do you know what I mean? Like, they wanted to get at him. And it was like...
It suits the youngsters as well, coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Well, when most of the game is... when you're not on the ball for most of the game, it's probably better if they're doing something. Like if you're, like, making moves and everything. Because that was one of the things that always seemed to be a problem in the last... under, like, Van Gaal and Mourinho was... no one seemed to move for a pass, and no one seemed to... the movement was always the problem. So you'd always get Herrera would get it, and he'd look around. No one would be in space, and then you just have to pass it back, and we just had... centre back to centre mid about 5 or 6 times, and it was just not fun to watch.
What's wrong with you?
just that. You know when he said centre back? Sorry, no. When he said, you know what it was?
Talking again.
No, sorry, Casey. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Especially the audio. It just I had visions of when we talk about centre back, centre mid. It's Chris Smalling, like
I'm Chris Smalling.
doing that move that he does, and I defend Chris Smalling, but yeah, that sort of playing it, going back to the defender and going, you know, and then it ends up just getting hoofed.
Yeah, that was always...
You know, like when we played... Remember when we played City and it was Marcus Rojo, I think. It kept ended up going back to him and he just kept hoofing it up. And like Sane was just tearing Ashley Young a new one.
Yeah, it
was just horrible to watch.
Painful, yeah.
Yeah.
So happy we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You know? I'm so like literally like we need 3 more signings like that go straight into the first 11. Yeah. If we get 2 or 3 more of them this summer, which is... probably unlikely.
Yeah, I saw.
But I'm getting giddy at all these reports.
Dare you say it out loud?
I always say.
Dare you say it?
Oh, I don't listen to reports. I don't like getting excited. And then someone like Damasio or Simon Stones says something, and I'm like,
Simon Stone's a good one.
It's happening. Now Simon Stones has rejected everything that's happened this season just before it's happened.
Really?
Which is a bit weird. I think depends who they get their briefs from in it and what they want to gain. If he's getting briefed by the club because the club want to keep it quiet until it's announced, then he's obviously getting his information from a good source, but they're giving him dud information. Damasio reporting about Dybala, Maguire, Bruno Fernandes in one day. Yeah. It just felt like...
It's hard to contain the excitement, isn't it? It's like, you're like, okay, I'll go downplay Dybala for a bit, and then it was like, but Fernandes is coming. I was like, all right then. And then Maguire's great.
Yeah, and he slipped into the article about Fernandes. Maguire's done. It's like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. We were saying like Maguire might be the only one even if we get him, and now all of a sudden
Maguire's a good signing, but even if we get him alone, it's not enough.
No,
I think Maguire plugs the hole very well that we have. That's the one position where we're like.
She said. Sorry,
I was
watching some videos of Michael Scott last night.
Witty,
and it's just
I've set you right up for that one.
It's just
I'll let you have that one.
Oscar Wilde over there.
But yeah, I feel like that's the one problematic solution where we just definitely need to play. I think everyone like the Dybala and the Fernandes are the ones where it's like these are the players that would make us.
Do you think they can both fit into the same team? I do, because I think I look at Dybala as a replacement for Lukaku, that will also play on the right, and that's probably where I think. Wally sees him. I think it probably, if we get Dybala, now Dybala could easily say no. He's training with Juventus today. He's going to have a meeting with Sarri later. He could easily say he doesn't want to join United. But if we got Dybala, I think that means no Sancho next summer. Because if he plays on the right, then where would Sancho fit into it? But what a signing that would be, replacing Lukaku. Because if we sell Lukaku to Inter for 80 million or whatever, we ain't replacing him.
No.
So to be able to replace him in the deal, I know the last swap move we didn't go well, but it'd be...
do you know what I always forget?
Because then we can focus on the other two. I keep forgetting he's here.
I know.
He's been injured and not been around. He's just...
He hasn't been. He just strikes me as the kind of guy that's not been injured.
I think he's just gone, hasn't
And he'll just start recording videos of himself running around like a bellend.
Like Owen Hargreaves.
Yeah.
Owen Hargreaves' fitness video where he was trying to get a sign in.
It's thing is, everyone's got excited in pre-season, like with Mason Greenwood, which I get because I'm as guilty as anyone of it. But he's not. You're not going to have him straight in the first team this season, are you?
Well,
not for most of the season.
I think
he might
could
get
be,
like a dozen games or whatever. But
I think if we got a Dybala,
realistically,
Greenwood and James would be the ones coming off the bench
to
replace him. Which
that's sick.
Don't mind.
No, I don't mind that. Actually,
Greenwood's sick.
That's a nightmare if you're a fullback, innit? 60 minutes in and then they bring on.
You're there just panting, like no fitness, like they're just like.
Daniel James has to get his final ball right though. That's what struck me about him because he moves at such a quick pace. Everything's overhit or underhit.
Yeah, he always hits it off balance because he's trying to slow down.
I think sometimes you just need to, in that final third, Wan-Bissaka does it well. He'll slow it down a bit. Just slow it down before you get the pass in. But he's a good option again from the bench.
This is what it's like you say though. You get these signings and it looks completely changes it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Central midfield massive though for us. I think that is our weakest position.
I think what the signings are showing that it's more a willingness to pass the ball instead of cross and hoof it and sort of thing, because we're getting rid of the one striker we have that is that big aerial presence. If you don't count like Pogba and McTominay coming in from deep, the big aerial presence in the front line is Lukaku. I mean, he's been on the right wing for some reason. Like he keeps drifting out there every game I've seen him play for like the last 10 games, but it's kind of showing a willingness to play the ball on the ground. And you were saying about Dybala playing on the right. I'm not sure if he'll be as effective because I've seen him at Juventus. He kind of played there a bit, but they won because they were Juventus. He could play out there, and because we're doing the fluid sort of swapping around, everyone moving inside. But I've also seen Fernandes play out there for Sporting, and he's been playing on the right, and he has decent numbers in crossing, and his passing's good, and his shooting's obviously he likes a shot. I think we've seen
the latest reports on this. Now this is like, bearing in mind it's Wednesday morning for us, is that Italian reports saying the ending seems already written, with the most probable outcome being Paulo Dybala signing for Manchester United. Sky Italy this morning reporting Dybala is training with Juventus today and will meet the manager Sarri after to discuss his future. So it seems like probably by the time this has gone out, we'll know a lot more.
Yeah.
But
you'd think though, for them to push that deal, they must have an inclination.
And Poch is cracking up. Do you think that's something to do with Dybala not going to Spurs and choosing United maybe?
Could be. The thing is, like, yeah, we're all a bit down on the fact, we're not in the Champions League and all the rest of it. We're still in the top 5 clubs in the world. We're still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are. I'm not saying we're the biggest.
Not competitively.
But if you
not
look at
the
big,
pitch
in terms of the size and magnitude and everything, you look at the biggest clubs in the world, you say Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juve, United. Maybe Bayern Munich.
I think this is kind of like these sort of years are the turning point. I mean,
Liverpool maybe?
Yeah, no. Even though I can't stand them, yeah. In terms of the size, the fan base, the history, all of it, yeah, you probably chuck the Scousers into the mix. Yeah. But, going from Juve to United, it's not a big step down at all.
No,
in terms of
it's not a step
the ability
down.
on the pitch, I get where you're coming from, the squad and all the rest of it.
In terms of trophies and immediately challenging for trophies, it is.
But
if you sell him that, you're going to be the guy that helps us return to that. Then
and you forget,
and him and Pogba touching fingers and stuff like that. You seen that?
But this is what I mean. We've still got, you mentioned Martial there, Pogba. We've still got some quality. Rashford, De Gea. We've still got some quality players, but everyone's a bit down.
Again.
Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
it's like,
I'm going to come back with that, this season. If we sign them, I'm absolutely going off on one. Well, sign all them, lose our first game. That'd be great. Wouldn't
I feel
it?
like
out.
Yeah.
We've got the players. We haven't got the manager.
Ollie out.
We got Chelsea first game, and then they just play a team.
They do Chelsea. Do what Chelsea always do, where you think they're about to implode, and somehow they still.
Let's allow ourselves to get giddy.
Yeah.
And crapped up when Dybala signed a new contract with Juve. But where do you play him? So I think if you get Fernandes and Dybala, you could play McTominay deep. Fernandes, Pogba, either side of him.
Yeah.
Dybala, Hole, Rashford, Marshall through the middle. That's an option. The diamond. Or do you not? So do you discount that 3 up front with Dybala on the right?
Well, I've seen.
Would you put Dybala through the middle and Marcel and Rashford wide?
I've seen reports of sort of thing that was a thing about Solskjaer. He said in the past how Dybala would be one of his dream signings and sort of thing. This was before I think he came to United, and I think that one of the things they talked about there was the false nine sort of thing, where he, like you described there, it would be a sort of McTominay holding, Fernandes there, and then Dybala is sort of like your transitional like number 10, and you have them on the wings, but they're kind of cutting in, and it's a weird format, but it's like he's both a striker and the number 10, and it's
shadow striker, as the old FIFA heads would say.
Oh yeah, secondary striker, like obviously the Rooney sort of thing. But I feel like that's the sort of system he might go for, where Dybala kind of drops deep, but then he'll to bring Rashford.
So then Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw become massively important.
And then if they want to go out wide,
width.
if they want to go out wide, Dybala then comes forward, or he can shoot from range and sort of thing. So I think it's more like Dybala is the one up front, but he's also not. It's kind of like Firmino plays for that's the way to describe. Firmino plays for Liverpool, where he's not actually in the number 9, but he's not an attacking midfielder.
He only got 5 league goals last season.
Yeah,
is that a concern?
Dybala.
Do we think we're buying a dud?
Nah, that's the Ronaldo.
If we get him,
is that not the Ronaldo factor though? Playing a big part.
Trying to fit back into that,
and just everything goes for him, and he's the main man, and it's like, your job on the pitch is to give the ball to Ronaldo and get out of his way.
Yeah, well, I was talking to you before about this, Jen, and it's kind of maybe a controversial opinion to say about United fans. It's like Ronaldo's not
shit.
No,
is that what you're going to say?
That's not what I'm saying.
Ronaldo's rubbish at Old Trafford. Couldn't wait for us to sell him.
No,
absolute waste of space.
I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo, obviously, a big part of when I was growing up. But I feel like he's not. If you are trying to build a team and you're trying, like Juventus and Real Madrid were on the thing of just they wanted to win things, and if Ronaldo scores you 50 goals or in a season, that helps. That obviously is going to win you like league titles. It's going to get you very far in the Champions League, if not win it, especially with Ronaldo's goal scoring record. But he doesn't help the team. If you're trying to, once he leaves, there is a massive vacuum. I mean, Benzema got 20 something goals this season, and he got absolutely nothing last season. You look at the numbers of the players this is what I'm getting onto the point now, but this is look at the players at Juventus. They went from Dybala scoring 22 and Douglas Costa being like the next big thing in Brazil with he's 27, but like being one of these next big wingers that we were linked with. Bernardeschi looked good. They went down to Douglas Costa, I think, scored 1 in the league. Bernardeschi scored 3. And then Ronaldo's taking like 9 shots a game. So it's like that sort of thing. You basically, once Ronaldo's in a team, it's all in on Ronaldo. It's if Ronaldo doesn't perform.
You know what though? That happened with us. It did happen to his last year at United.
That's kind of why we got rid of Rude, because everything had to go through him.
Exactly, and everyone sort of assumed, or Fergie seems to assume that Tevez wasn't that effective. But he went to City and just banging in goals for fun. And a part of it was because everything was we got to that point.
Tevez had 5 league goals in his last season.
That's what I mean. And then he went on and was banging in like 20 a season or whatever. I mean, a lot of it, okay, he got a little bit older and progressed or whatever, but
he's a player you love to have at the time, but then when you afterwards, he kind of leaves like that massive. You just don't know how to replace him, and it takes a while.
So no one's worried about Dybala potentially doing a Sanchez.
I mean, Dybala has a lot of natural talent. He was very good at Palermo, and then he moved to Juventus, and he's had his good seasons, and he's had, obviously, as I said, 22 goals, 5 assists season, sort of thing. But he has been inconsistent. But the thing is that I feel like the system Ollie's looking for kind of suits him. That sort of player to be in between.
So do you think we could have fallen upon like the perfect scenario by accident? Almost if Inter Milan gave United Perisic for 40 million last summer, I'm pretty sure we would have given them Lukaku for like 60 million this. And their being bastards last summer has cost them and allowed Juventus to sneak in and possibly. And it's interesting, I was reading Zlatan's book on the plane over to Australia and that. And when he talks about him joining AC Milan and when he joined Inter, he speaks about how Raiola was always approached by one of the other big Italian clubs trying to nick them because there's such a battle over there between the owners of the clubs and the clubs themselves and all that. And it's happening again with obviously Lukaku now. And I'm interested to see how Lukaku. I'm really not sure what Juventus are doing here. Like. Where did they see Lukaku fitting in? Because like we just said, I know it's not our problem to worry about, but if Lukaku goes there, Ronaldo's the main man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to put Lukaku on the right, we have seen for Belgium?
This is really weird, because I saw this quote from Sarri, and he wanted to play, he's been trying to get Ronaldo to play back on the left, And Ronaldo's like not been having it, and he's been like,
Have they found a time machine or something?
He's like, I want to play him through the middle, and he's like, and I saw a quote the other day, and he was like, I don't see what moving him with his ability, I don't see what moving him 10 meters to the side will do. So I feel like he's trying to, because his Sarri Bowler's system is like one of the sides of creator, and one of them's like your Callejon and your goal scorer, and he kind of moves around a bit. So I feel like he's trying to swap it around a bit. And Ronaldo was like, yeah, you're on the wing, but you're a striker, but you've got to provide to Lukaku.
Do you know what? Oh, yeah, he has his like this Sarri ball thing, which I don't know. I think it's a little bit.
He's very tactically. He's unflexible with his tactics, and now you saw that problem with Chelsea. I think
he had Kante over on the wing at one point. It was just like, what are you doing? Like City battered them 6-0, and a big part of that for me was the fact that Kante wasn't able to protect the defence like he normally does. But yeah, I don't know. I think it smacks to me a little bit of Van Gaal at Barcelona trying to get Rivaldo to play out wide when Rivaldo was like, "Nah, mate, you're all right."
I mean, I hope nobody like says that to the ball, like, "Oh, maybe Sarri will be gone in like a year. You can just stick around for a bit," and hopefully, he's like, "No, I'll leave. It's fine." Because I feel like Ronaldo's there for another 2 years, probably, or maybe go somewhere else in a bit.
I should tell you what I'm doing.
Go on.
Refreshing the search word Dybala on Twitter.
What's happening?
That's a new game.
Adam is apparently not going all in on the Dybala. He's sat here refreshing it on Twitter. Not get excited, everyone.
Yeah, apparently it's close and all that.
There was Casey was talking here before about like there was talk of other players being in the mix as well as part of the deal. Is that just nonsense?
Mandzukic and Matuidi.
Matuidi.
I'm not sure about them. It'd be mad if we got Matuidi. That'd be good.
I'd be happy with that. Would you be happy with that? Do you think he's still
Matuidi?
Yeah.
He's been on the decline quite.
It'd be almost like we've let Pogba pick the players, isn't it?
Yeah.
You fancy Paul? Forget the captain's armband. You may as well be our director of football.
You pick the players. We'll get them for you.
There's this little player I play with France occasionally. You know, Mbappe. He's just. Why don't we just stick him up front? Like, yeah. But Matuidi's been on the decline. I was talking to Jay. I was saying Mandzukic. I wouldn't actually mind if you could just basically go to Mandzukic and be like, right, here's the deal.
Sit on the bench. Also,
you have this money. You sit on the bench, and if we need you, you come on and you do your thing. Because as I said, with losing Lukaku, you lose your presence up front, the aerial presence.
If we get Dybala, is it that space for the extra attacker?
I feel like it's one of those things like it just.
Or is it because he can also play wide?
Yeah, I mean he plays on the left for Juventus like as a wide target man. So basically they just kick it up to him and he heads it down for everyone else to come into play. So it's a bit one of those ones where it's like.
Now what came into my head? Sorry to cut you there. Is remember Martial's goal against Spurs when we did that with Lukaku?
Yeah.
And that could be something for Rashford and Martial to work off if a Mandzukic did come in. Someone else I wanted to talk about has been linked with us. We know Maguire is probably the most likely out of all of these, so we'll save that one. Yeah? Anyone got anything they want to say about Maguire?
We've said it all, innit?
Yeah.
You know I rate him.
Do you want Slabhead?
Yeah, big time.
All right. Bruno Fernandes. What's going on in here? Because that keeps coming around.
He's having his
again.
medical, innit?
He's been having his medical he was crying last week.
He's been refueling
shaking
in the air
hands
for
with
the last
Jurgen Klopp
3
the other
weeks.
week. I just don't know what's going on with this dude.
Mate.
Is he crying because he can't get out of there? I kind of felt maybe United had saw Dybala was available and thought, forget Fernandes.
Apparently the deals are independent. Like,
yeah, no, that's what I think it should be.
They want both, and I feel like that's the sort of different players. Like Fernandes is the natural creative player. I mean, he takes a lot of shots, as I've already said today. And I feel like it needs to be emphasised. He likes to shoot a lot from distance. He has like 4 or 5 shots a game, and he just. Okay, but that's something we need because that'll bring defences out. If we play him, he shoots from distance. Defenders will be like, "Oh, actually, I should probably go mark him before he just goes."
What position would you say, Bruno? Like, I know he scores goals, creates goals. He's classed as an attacking midfielder, but is he more of an 8 or a 10?
I think obviously naturally, I've seen him play at 10, and I've seen him play on the right a couple of games. And I've obviously seen your highlights because obviously every United fan's seen Bruno Fernandes highlights by now.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people, I've been reading through the comments of like sporting fans and stuff. A lot of people have said like when he initially starts and occasionally he'll play a lot deeper because he does put a shift in. He does try and tackle and he tries to be a bit more physical. So like what you said where it would be, they were a bit deeper with Pogba alongside him. It might not be the worst thing in the world. Like if he's
could
there,
join up in the midfield and in the attack almost. Be a number 10.
Yeah, like if you have it so like both Pogba and Fernandes, if one goes, the other stays, sort of thing, that might work out a bit better. And then you obviously have your Dybala. I mean, we're talking as if we get him.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's
Is that then with...
Imagine, someone,
Go
we
on.
get these tweets into us all the time. Oh, do you want to look at my 11? And it's got like Ronaldo and Dybala in it. You just think, have a day off, will ya? Someone sent us that 11 at the beginning of the summer. Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, McTominay, Pogba, Bruno, Fernandes, Dybala and Rashford and Marshall. You'd be like, piss off.
Mate, don't be silly.
Stop playing Football Manager, you knobbit.
Exactly.
My
Get
favourite
on.
ones was like,
Now people are sending us chants for these players. You see that?
Has we got a chant?
Yeah. So
Where is it?
CC in the group.
All right, let's
Shows
have
how
a
that you read my messages.
Yeah.
Maka, thanks for that.
Ignore them.
Someone sent us a Dybala chant.
Oh, okay.
Dybala chant. Oh,
Yeah.
Are we going to play it live on
Yeah,
the
why not, man?
iTunes?
Do you know what I mean?
If we sign Paulo Dybala, this should be
You might want to get his name
the
right.
song sung on the terraces come August the 10th.
I think this is made up.
Using the tune of Copacabana. It's Paulo Dybala, the little Argentinian magician. Yes, it's Paulo.
Hey.
Paulo Dybala. He's better than Mane and Sane and Salah. Yes, we fell in love.
that's the sort of thing that you see on Out of Context United.
Do you know what? Well done, mate. Well done.
This
Thanks
is
for
what
sending-
Jay and
thanks
his
for-
mates
quality.
send to each other every day.
That is-
This is what Jay does at home.
Just put on an accent, Jay. Put on an accent. Put on a Cockney accent. Go on. They'll never know it's you.
Had a bit of a... It would
Yeah.
get you shaking your
Yeah.
hips on the
Yeah,
terraces,
man.
wouldn't it?
I mean, we need a bit,
Well,
I can see that taking off if we win the treble. Because everyone will be not give a shit.
yeah.
If we're just
everyone-
drawing 1-1 at home
everyone
with
would-
Sheffield United.
Yeah. Good luck starting that, Chad. I'll leave you in the Stretford on your own.
Everyone
we're
would get a
getting
song on that one.
Nick's giving us the time, eh? He
Oh.
runs a tight ship here, doesn't he?
Wally of the week.
I am Madam Paulo.
Wally of the week, probably Inter Milan.
Going for a whole club.
Yeah, just fucked about and they left it too late, messed about, and now it looks as though the player that Conte has been dying to get.
He missed out on him at Chelsea as well.
Exactly.
He must hate.
Yeah. They shouldn't have done what, like you said, they shouldn't have done what they did with Perisic, squabbling over 5 million.
Well, they should have, because then we would have
I
lost.
want
Martial.
to see the interview of Conte after if this deal goes through. I want to see the Conte because he looked reservedly angry when he was like the deal's not happening when it before us. He was like, I'm not playing a
You
striker.
can't have put your cards more on the table than he has.
No.
He's absolutely banged on about Lukaku.
He's going to need
like.
another hair transplant,
Yeah,
isn't
he
he?
is, isn't it? He's praised him to high heavens, made it clear that he's the main man he wants, and now he's going to go to his rivals.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's gonna. I think that.
We
that
hasten to add. Maka, your Wally of the week?
Them Glazers have been taking money out on United again, haven't they?
Glazers, man.
I was going to say Woodward, but if he pulls off what he's about to pull off this week,
Would get a week
then I
off.
can get him a week off. But if he pulls it off.
Right.
So we'll just say the Glazers for now. That reminds me, we forgot to talk about the 5 point.
That's a good
5
point,
letter.
yeah, we should
We'll do a
mention
different show on that, actually. And I have tweeted from the FullTimeDEVILS account, inviting anybody that wants to do a chat with us on that. We can either meet up at the Nags for a pint
Yep.
and have a little chinwag if you're local. Or if you're not local and you want to get involved in a Skype debate, then we can do that as well. We'll plan on doing it next week in between the Chelsea game and the AC Milan game.
yeah.
We'll do it in between that as a huge debate. So yeah, get in the comments below. Are we going to get a TF right?
I spoke to him. I've done a few podcasts with Michael, and I spoke to him. He said he's up for doing something. He said he just have to see what he can do. So we have reached out, and we are, obviously, like you said, Michael.
It's mental. Every time this comes around, FullTimeDEVILS gets accused of not talking about it. Listen, FullTimeDEVILS want to talk about anything that's concerning Manchester United fans. And if you want to give your opinion, as long as it's not calling me a wanker every second.
That's all right.
You can call me it
Yeah,
once
come on.
at least,
Come on,
but
it's not- it's not-
don't you just come on the show and just do that for the whole show.
have a cool down period.
You know what I
between
mean?
them.
he called me out before we came on air, so he got his out of the way. But basically, if you're going to come on and have a proper chat and whatever, feel free. Even if your opinions aren't the same as mine, I don't give a shit. But if you don't like the Glazers, my opinion's probably the same, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you nailed on. Before we go, Casey, you got to get your Wally of the weekend.
I don't know if the transfer's gone through yet, but
Do you know what Wally of the Week is, yeah?
Pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to go with Malcolm from Barcelona. Apparently, he has turned down the chance to go to Everton, which I think is not a thing, but to go to Zenit St. Petersburg, the place where attackers go to die. Again.
Controversial opinion there. Hey.
Again,
it's St.
lot of
Petersburg
money.
fans watching this will be fuming with you there.
But I feel like he has a lot of natural talent. He had a lot of promise. He's going to Barcelona in the first place was a Wally move. But again, he's now going to Zenit St. Petersburg, so I don't think that's a big one.
Yeah, you signing for Barcelona, fulfilling your dreams, absolute Wally, mate. But yeah, Zenit doesn't. Is Andre Villas-Boas still there?
I don't even know.
But a guaranteed Champions League football.
Yeah, I mean,
aren't they?
It's a weird one. I just think.
There's a conversation me and you have on Twitter about Andre Villas-Boas being United manager one day.
There was there?
I changed
it to these two. I changed the Wally of the week.
I'm gonna dig it out
to these two. If you can find
It's
that
from like
chat.
He did have the
6 years
look of
ago.
being
It's
an
from
absolute
6 years
dog,
ago.
didn't he?
To be fair, it is from time
To
ago.
be fair, I sang that I would stand by David Moyes. So on that note, guys, it's clear I don't know what I'm talking about.
In good company.
But thank you for tuning in to Full Time Devils. Make sure you're subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Audio Boom. Subscribe to Stretford Paddock. Subscribe to Adam McCullough TV. Subscribe to Jay on Full Time Devils.
I'm not important enough to have my own channel, so I just come on here.
He has got one. Some one of them cam girl websites Jay's on.
Jay's OnlyFans.
Sitting on a couch like this.
It's the same couch, actually.
Yeah.
We just take the
I'm going to
flags
get
away.
off this couch very quickly if he keeps talking like that.
There's a stain there. Have a sniff of that. Anyway, see you later.